Hey, it's Chris Aiken from the Classic Metal Show, and I want to invite you to my first ever public book signing. I'll be doing a special reading, question and answer session, and a signing of my new book, Little Victories, A Tale of Divorce, Debauchery, and Finding Happiness on Thursday, March 20th at Visible Voice Books, located at 1023 Kenilworth Road, Cleveland, Ohio, 44113. I'll have a limited supply of Little Victories on hand to sign. I'll be reading selections from Little Victories, as well as telling stories and reading some material that was left out of Little Victories. I'll end with a Q&A session that will be a no-holds-barred affair. The signing will be from 7 to 9 p.m. at Visible Voice Books, 1023 Kenilworth Road, Cleveland, Ohio, 44113. Come out, have some fun, and be a part of a rare appearance from me, Chris Aiken.
That's Slayer right here on the Classic Metal Show from the God Hates Us All release. That's Disciple, one of Mr. Aiken's favorite tunes from Slayer.
Slayer!
Well, dude, you were going through some of the music news here, and, your good friend, Mark Nero, he enjoys all the music news and the silliness that goes on the Classic Metal Show.
Does he? Are you going to read me some fucking dumb letter from this fucking idiot?
No, that's what he said. Even though the Metal Madman plays mostly music, he still likes to tune in because he likes all the music news and the silliness and Tom, the Scott. And
well, that's great.
All
right, so then from now on, for the next 6 weeks, let's play nothing but music so Mark goes away.
Right. No, he would tune in more.
Oh, would he tune in more?
Yeah, because he likes the music.
I wish Mark would just start posting random stupidity on Metal Madman's board.
Right.
Or on Bill Peters.
How do you know he doesn't?
I don't. Because unlike him, I'm not a stalker.
Right. All right. Well, you ran across a article about some of the bizarre tour rider requests. And if you don't know what a tour rider is, that's what the bands request that they want for their after show. Mostly in their dressing room and their accommodations is what it is.
Yeah, and most of the time, we've hung out with a ton of bands, and most of the time it's reasonable stuff, Case of beer, maybe a bottle of
Jack,
whiskey, or some food.
A deli tray.
Yeah, some dinner.
Pizza afterwards, maybe a takeout dinner.
Yeah, or maybe even a spread. Maybe if it's a bigger band, they request... a $250 catered spread or $500 catered spread. Nothing like these that we're about to go.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Alrighty. All right. The most bizarre tour rider request.
Yeah.
Get ready for some awesome list of requests ever, and it's right from the desk of Slayer.
Right.
At the 2011 Fun Fest.
Yeah.
Would you go to something called that, Fun Fest?
Probably not, but if Slayer was playing it, I got to imagine the other bands were probably of the same caliber.
Why would Slayer play something that's called Fun Fest?
Who knows? Cash?
Is Slayer... Would you consider Slayer fun?
They're very fun.
Are they fun?
No.
If you think of Fun Fest, you think of maybe like Poison.
Right, sure.
But not Slayer.
Not really. No, it's a good point.
So anyway, for the 2011 Fun Fest, the band requested, I wish you had your drum roll, 50,000 live bees. Bees. 100 snow white goats for slaughter, and not the band.
Right.
100 snow white goats for slaughter. Right. Blood-proof umbrellas.
Where do you buy those?
Blood-proof umbrellas?
Yeah, where do you get those at?
A sandwich platter arranged in the form of a pentagram and one human skull full of Red Hots. You think that promoter or club owner or fest organizer actually was able to provide these things?
I'm thinking they got the pentagram-shaped sandwich platter. And that's it.
Right. Believe it or not.
I can't imagine. 1, 2. Hey.
There you are.
Well, that was bizarre.
What happened over there?
I have no idea. It just started. It would like connect. I'd hear you say hello, and then it would fucking connect again.
Sure.
I don't know. That was weird. I just rebooted the software, and it seems like it's working now.
All right. Well, you were saying, I believe Slayer probably got.
Oh, okay. You ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Man, I believe Slayer probably just got nothing but the pentagram sandwich platter. Nothing else on that list.
Not the skull full of Red Hots?
I don't think they got that. I can't imagine that the promoter went out there and got them some goats. No bees. 50,000 bees, that would be expensive.
Well, that would be a hive.
Yeah, that would be an expensive. Wouldn't it be expensive now with the bee shortage?
Sure. Yep, it would be a couple $100 for 50,000 bees.
It'd be great if the promoter said, "Well, we're not going to pay you, but we got you your goats and your bees."
Right. Nice. I got to tell you, dude, back in the 80s and the early 90s, I worked in a club.
Yeah.
And it was a 400-seater club, and we had people like Blue Oyster Cult, Robin Trower, Foghat.
Okay.
People like that played.
Sure.
And you would have thought that these guys were still in like major arena bands, some of the stupid stuff that they asked on their rider.
Oh, I'm sure.
And how particular that they were about their rider, like they wanted bottled water, but they only wanted Evian.
Right. Couldn't be Devia or whatever that stuff
whatever it was, Fuji or something. It had to be Evian.
Idiots.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, it matters.
Remember when we had Charlie Hoon, who's currently the lead singer for Foghat on the show?
Yeah, sure.
A real nice guy.
Uh-huh.
And because, I had some familiarity with Foghat, we asked him about the rider.
Right, yeah.
And he basically, didn't we ask him something like, what do you guys ask for that, sometimes causes you a problem? And didn't he say that the promoter or club owner or whatever, they had to provide them with hotel rooms with king-size beds?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
And then he said, if we ever play a town near you, you're more than welcome back to enjoy some of our rider,
right?
Because they had like certain beers and things like that.
Certain beers and way too much food.
Yeah, he said, a lot of this goes to waste, and if we ever come into your town, just give me a call, and you're more than welcome to come back and enjoy some of our rider.
Yeah, dude, we've never taken them up on that either, have we?
I haven't had Foghat near me in a while.
Yeah, I don't know. Do they still even tour?
Oh yeah, they're still around.
I haven't seen Foghat. I would go see Foghat again just because Charlie's in the band.
Right. Hey, you remember us? Who the fuck are you, shitwad?
That would be about it, too. You're going to remember us from 2008.
Right.
But I'll tell you, I would interview that guy again. He was a great interview.
Yeah, he was good. He played with Ted Nugent.
Yeah.
And played, obviously played with Foghat. And he also played with that Jerry Shirley. Remember that?
Yeah, that's right.
And remember we asked him that story about Jerry Shirley, who was with Humble Pie.
Right.
And
the food bank.
And he was a disc jockey on WNCX there in Cleveland for a while, and he did a promotion every Thanksgiving where he did 30 days in the hole between Thanksgiving and Christmas, where he would collect coats and money and donations for the homeless.
Yeah.
And he basically got fired because he was pilfering the money. Remember that was such a big deal?
It was a big, well, dude, he stole money from homeless people.
I know, he pocketed the money.
Yeah.
And
you ever had anybody steal a bunch of money from you?
Not me personally, no.
You want to hear a really horrendous story?
Please do.
I will not say the guy's name, even though I should, because he's a piece of shit. But, so, when I got hurt, when I got blown up and I was in my coma.
Now let's put a timeline on this.
1994, Christmas.
Okay, so we're looking at 20 years ago.
Yeah. I got hurt. I got hurt December 12th of 94. I was in a steel mill. Furnace blew up. coma, rehab, 14 months of rehab, relearning to walk and use my fingers and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so I'm in a coma, okay? And apparently there was a benefit that was thrown to raise money for my kids.
Okay.
For Christmas.
Sure.
Obviously, I'm in a coma. I don't know anything about this shit. Fast forward 3-4 months, whatever it is, okay? My story was kind of a big deal around here, and it was on the news a lot because I recovered fairly quickly, and I was willing to talk about it to, like, the news people and stuff. So I did a lot of news stuff, and I did, like, Good Morning Cleveland or Good Day Cleveland or whatever that fucking show was called on Channel 5 with Michael Satoni was the host.
Okay.
And I, on one of my TV appearances that I did, I thanked a bunch of people for helping. They asked me, you know how they are at the end of interviews. They're like, hey, you got anybody you want to thank or whatever? Well, I thanked a whole laundry list of people. I thanked literally everybody, from anybody that had done anything from giving me a bag of groceries or giving my family a bag of groceries to driven me anywhere, watched my kids, whatever it took, was when we were going through what was obviously a really fucked up time. So I got home, now I was still doing rehab fucking 10 hours a day, at the hospital. And I get home that night and I get this phone call. And so I get this phone call and it's this guy fucking reading me the fucking riot act. You ungrateful son of a bitch. How could you fucking do this and that and thank all these people and you don't thank my club and blah, 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 right? And I looked at my wife and I was like, do you know what the fuck he's talking about? And she didn't know. And I told the dude, I said, dude, I don't know who you are. And, I've been sick, hurt, I don't know what you're talking about. So he tells me, he's like, well, there was this benefit held and so took all the money and there was $6,000 and blah, 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 blah. Right? I was like, okay, fine. I was like, dude, I'm sorry. Next time I do something, I'll tell people about, your involvement and okay, whatever. And I'll get to the bottom of this. Well, literally the next morning, this guy shows up at my house, not the guy on the phone, but the guy that allegedly organized this benefit, right?
His name wasn't Chef Bill, was it?
No. No. For lack of a better name, I'll call this guy Dan. Okay? Because I don't know a Dan, okay, so that makes it easy.
Okay, it's Chef Dan.
No. Oh, stop it. So Dan shows up at my house and he's like, hey man, just checking in on you, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, man, here I am, damn near dead, but still going. And he's like, hey, I need you to do me a favor. And I was like, okay. And he's like, we threw this benefit for you and there's a misunderstanding and I need you to call this club owner and tell him that I gave you the money that we raised for the benefit. And I was like, did you? He's like, no, I didn't have a chance to, blah, blah, blah. And, you weren't here. But I invested the money for you. And I was like, well, all right. I was like, well, why don't you go get me the fucking certificate for the investment? You go get me that certificate and give it to me. And I'll call this club owner and I'll tell him, that it's just a misunderstanding. He's like, oh, well, I really need you to do that part first because, I guess he called the police because you said that you didn't know anything about it and, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, well, dude, you're going to have to go get me the certificate, man. That's just the way it's going to be. I can't tell him that you gave me the money when you didn't. He's like, all right, man, I'll be back in an hour. I got to run to my safe deposit box and I'll go get it. It's like, okay. He leaves. Comes back like an hour later. He's like, I just got to tell you the truth, dude. I lied. I needed the money. I was like, okay, man. And a little backstory on this. This was literally my best friend in the world at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Literally grew up with him. You know my friend Scotty.
Sure.
Me, Scotty and his family, and this guy that we're calling Dan and his family all grew up together.
All right.
From the time we were like 2.
Okay.
I mean, literally lived in the same neighborhoods. When we moved, we all moved to the same neighborhoods, all through school.
Right.
And this is what this guy did. He stole this money, So basically, he came and he said, "Oh, I lied, blah blah blah." And I said to him, I said, "Okay." And I grabbed my phone and I fucking called the club owner and I said, "You know what? This is a big misunderstanding. Scott gave me the money, or Dan." I was like, he gave me the money. And we're all good. And the guy was, and I apologized once again, told him I'd fucking plug his club and thank him and blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
So, I hang up the phone and this dude's like, "Oh man, just want to thank you for that, dude. That's such a big favor, blah, blah." I was like, "No, dude, it ain't a fucking favor. That's what you sold out our fucking friendship for.
Right.
$6,000.
Right.
That's what it was worth to you. Now get the fuck out of my house."
Right.
I threw him out of my house. Didn't talk to him for 17 years. Only just now started talking to him again. And don't trust him as far as I can fucking throw him.
Sure.
But is what it is, man. I mean, stole money from my fucking kids. He's lucky I didn't fucking put a bullet in his head.
All right.
But what are you going to do,
Yeah. Well, I hope Chef Dan is roasting in hell.
I am. I didn't know Chef Dan back then. Glad Chef Dan didn't steal anything when he visited this place.
Right.
I left my wallet out.
Nice.
Chef Dan.
All right. Getting back to the bizarre riders.
Right.
Believe it or not, Slayer aren't all about blood and guts. Can you believe that, Chris? They're not all about blood and guts.
Really? Wow.
The band also asked for 4 light brights.
Okay.
I think Light Bright actually plays a part in classic metal show history.
They do?
Yes.
How?
Remember when we were doing the whole thing with Talking Metal when they were doing that what this was
in the closet.
In the closet with a light bright, and they were pretending it was like a
concert lighting.
Not concert lighting, like a spaceship console.
Oh, right. God damn, that's old.
I know. And I can't remember who it was. I'm thinking that it might have been one of our long-term listeners. He had sent a picture of a light bright and he spelled CMS in the light bright. Remember that picture?
I do remember that. Wish we had all that shit.
I have that picture somewhere.
Oh, we need to put that back up on the Facebook or something.
Right. The light bright.
Right.
It was that whole space episode. What the hell were they doing? And I said they're like sitting in a closet pretending they're in a dark spaceship using a light bright as a console.
Right. And it was the one where that dummy said he had a smoke machine in his apartment.
Yeah, exactly. That's the one.
Right.
2006.
I know, that was like when I first came on the show.
And that was a funny episode.
Yeah, it was.
10 cases of Go-Gurt.
10 cases. 240 Go-Gurts.
Yeah, Go-Gurts.
What the fuck do 4 guys need 240 fucking Go-Gurts for?
And you know what? To be honest with you, I never heard of Go-Gurt until I watched the movie Get Him to the Greek.
Oh, really? Have you tried them since?
I've never had one. I've never seen one.
They're fucking delicious.
Okay. Never had one, never seen one.
Put them in the freezer and take it out. Ooh, that's fucking good stuff.
Right. A ping pong table.
Jeez.
Who are they expecting? Forrest Gump?
I guess.
A Zamboni.
The fuck do they need that for?
Well, they got to polish off the ice.
I guess.
4 black yoga ball chairs. A Hogan's Hero DVD box set. 2 shoe boxes to hide our Grammy awards. Do not write Grammy on the boxes.
You know, at what point does the promoter say, look, I'm a professional. Fuck you. You know, honestly. Stop babying these dicks.
Well, I think what it boils down to, and I think David Lee Roth cleared a lot of this up with the whole brown M&Ms thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a way to see if the promoter is actually reading the rider.
Oh, you think?
That's what David Lee Roth explained, that they put these ridiculous things on there,
right,
just to see if they're actually reading the rider.
And then what? Then they have to call back and negotiate?
No, it's just like, what is this? What is this? What is this? And then they go, okay, well, you actually read the rider then.
Why do they care?
Because whatever it is that they think that they need,
mm-hmm.
they want to see if the promoter is serious and is going to actually honor their obligation.
Couldn't they just get there, and if it's not there, fucking leave?
Well, but that's the whole thing, because they have to go through the trouble of actually getting there and then go, hey, you're not honoring what our agreement was.
All right, so just put on the bottom of that thing. See, this is where I just never agree with that. That's just a dumb way to do it. What you do is you fucking put what you need, and then you put a fucking stipulation right there on the contract that says if any of this shit's not on here, it's a $50,000 fine. Payable to the band before they perform. You know, and then you just can't, and then you don't have to act like a child over it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's fucking professional business.
Right.
Professional business is not 50,000 fucking bees.
Right.
All right? $50,000 is professional business.
Sure.
So say we need a fucking food tray, we need a fucking, you know, whatever, and if you don't deliver it, then we're getting fucking paid to leave.
Right.
You know, and that's it. So stupid.
I agree with that.
Band guys are childish dicks.
Well, it doesn't always have to be about the band itself. It could be management as well.
Yeah, well, you know this. You know Slayer's manager, and he's not a fun guy.
Sure.
That Salas guy?
Right.
What's his name? Steve Salas?
Mm-hmm.
He's not a fun guy. This bullshit that's on their rider, that ain't coming from him. No way.
Hey, it's been 5 minutes, and it's time now for Neeley to talk Dokken on the Classic Metal Show.
Well, you know, talking about riders.
Yeah.
You know as well as I do that when it comes to Dokken's rider,
yeah,
they basically ask for nothing.
Yeah, it's a fucking Post-it note.
They ask for basically a bottle of Jack.
Right, couple of pizzas.
A bottle of Jim Beam if Mick is with them because he likes Jim Beam.
Right.
Cokes, maybe some Doritos, maybe some mixed nuts, and that's it.
That's it?
That's it.
That's literally it. And it's funny. And even with that little bit that they're asking for, if you're a friend of the band, they're like, here, eat this shit. We're not going to.
Yeah, it's just like, I'm going to eat 2 pieces of pizza. Go ahead and take the rest.
Yeah. Look, dude, the day we were there, they had 2 small pizzas, and they had me and you both eating it because they were like, we're not eating this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's basically the Jack, the ice, the Coke, the Jim Beam, some pizzas, maybe some Doritos, and maybe a lunch meat tray. It's
really, the bottom line to it, the translation of the Dokken rider is
$50 worth of shit.
We don't want to look like amateurs that have to go out front to get our drinks.
Right.
That's really what it boils down to.
It's like $50 worth of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe $100, because believe me, I've been buying whiskey lately. It's not cheap anymore.
Yeah, I know.
Oof,
but they don't. But they don't get the big bottle though.
Dude, a regular bottle of Jack Daniel's is $40.
Well, here it's like $22.
Shit, I'm gonna load my trunk next time I come up there. Seriously, dude, all over the place here. A fifth of Jack Daniel's, $40.
That's a lot of money.
Dude, I know. The girl I've been kicking it with, She buys the big bottle of Jack Daniels, $60.
Really? Because the big bottle here is like $29.
Get the fuck out of here!
I'm not kidding you,
dude. We're gonna have to start doing some illegal pirating of this Jack Daniels.
I get the big bottle of vodka.
Yeah,
the Svedka. It's $19.
What is that taxed? Is that a tax thing? Maybe
it is a tax thing. It's an import thing.
From Chicago to Cleveland?
No, it's a state tax.
So Ohio's dicking me.
Yeah, it's Ohio.
I need to come up there then. I'm dead serious. I need to come up there with like $500 and just buy a bunch of booze.
Right.
And drive home with it.
Sure.
'Cause fuck that, man. Dude, I'm telling you, when I went into the grocery store, because, you know, her birthday was, she's a big Jack Daniels drinker, and her birthday was, whatever, 2 weeks ago, whenever it was. And so I got her a bottle of Jack Daniels, you know, that me and her could drink during the day. And I was stunned when I went in the fucking liquor store, and it was $39.75.
No, see, like you can get what's equivalent to like a half a gallon.
Yeah.
$29.
Yeah, that's 60 here.
Wow.
60.
Wow.
Yeah, a fifth is 40, and the little bottle is like 28.
You know that I like the Behringer wine?
Yeah.
When I was there for your book signing, and I brought a Magnum,
yeah,
it was like $14.
But you brought it from home?
No. I bought it at a drive-through on my way to your place.
Wine is not too bad.
Yeah, I know, but here, $9.99.
Yeah, see, it's crazy.
All right. Well, getting back to the tour rider.
Yeah.
The Foo Fighters.
All right. Do we care?
Well,
my dream.
All right.
That, of course, is Dave Grohl's band.
Yeah.
Foo Fighters made the news recently for their hilarious rider.
Right.
Which began with a request for their fat roadies eat immediately on arrival so they have energy for their arduous 70 to 90 minute workday. Okay?
All right.
However, the band requested vegetarian soups for their fat roadies to avoid noxious gas issues.
Note to self, never work for the Foo Fighters.
Right. The 2008 rider also demanded one bag of Pirates Booty.
Really?
That's hilarious.
Just a scream.
A selection of cereals not recycled from last night's Dio show.
Hilarious.
4 bottles of Gatorade in wacky colors.
So just a scream and riot here.
Well, just the word wacky itself is just hysterical.
Yeah, it is.
Wacky colors.
Mm-hmm.
And DVDs that don't feature Jamie Kennedy, Martin Lawrence, or sports.
Okay.
That's hilarious, dude.
I think we need to end the show now so I can catch my breath from all the laughing I'm doing.
I know. I didn't find any of that all that funny.
Nope, none of it.
All right, here's your boys, or your former boys, Metallica.
Yeah, I still love Metallica.
Come on, you disavowed them like 3 weeks ago.
I still like the old stuff.
You said you're totally done with them.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I did not.
Fuck you, you did.
I'll never say that. I love Metallica.
You did not. You said after that Grammy performance, you were totally done with them.
Well, I'm going forward, yeah, but not going backward.
Okay.
Not going to listen to Lulu either. Doesn't mean that I fucking don't like Master of Puppets.
Sure. Okay, Metallica are arguably the biggest metal band on the planet.
Right.
But that doesn't stop James and the gang, the James gang,
I guess so,
from enjoying the simple things in life. Namely, bacon.
Bacon.
The band reportedly noted bacon was very important and should be available for every meal of the day.
All right, so they're about to die?
That reminds me, remember when Wheezy spent the money and had Sheldon recut the Classic Metal Show theme song into the Classic Bacon Show?
Right. The Classic Bacon Show.
That's a fan.
Yeah, he is.
The band also required a $5 million insurance policy per gig.
All right, now that seems like a legitimate business move.
Sure. Alcohol not to be served before or during the show, and a total of 16 banquet tables ranging from 6 to 8 feet long for backstage during the 2004 arena tour.
Okay, so none of that sounds crazy to me.
That sounds like maybe something to cover their, potential losses or...
So they want tables for the food and for, people to sign shit on. And they want coverage for their insurance to make sure that they get paid.
Right.
And they want some bacon. That doesn't sound crazy.
It's hilarious. Oh, I meant that's the Foo Fighters. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Metallica's a little more serious, I guess.
Right. All right, Marilyn Manson.
Yeah.
See how bizarre this guy can be.
All right.
Brian Warner of Canton, Ohio. How crazy can this guy be?
Well, look at that microphone he's sporting. It's got brass knuckles attached to it.
Man, it's wild and crazy.
Dangerous.
Wow. If one were to start an internship at a rock venue and gaze upon the giant cabinets filled with riders from legendary musicians, Marilyn Manson may be the very first file to browse through. Oh man, he must be out of control.
This writer is a douche.
What on earth could the Antichrist Superstar request? Wasn't Antichrist Superstar like 1996?
No, that was Jesus Christ Superstar.
No, Antichrist Superstar.
Was what, 96?
Yeah, wasn't that like 96 or 98?
Oh, yeah, somewhere in there, yeah.
Yeah, so we're like making 20-year-old references here.
Well, he hasn't had a good album since.
Apparently. Sorry to disappoint you, but his writer is more extravagant than disturbing.
Have you met him?
Who, Marilyn Manson?
Yeah.
No, I've never met him.
He's such a fucking douche. This surprises me none.
Right.
Fucking spoiled punk.
Okay. Manson requests various fine cheeses.
Okay.
High quality chocolate.
All right.
Top of the line champagne. Cristal or Moet.
I think so.
Okay. And 2 bottles of absinthe.
Okay.
Again, I never heard of absinthe until I watched Get Him to the Greek.
Right.
Bartender, absinthe. Did you see that movie?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Along with a ton of peasant food.
Yeah.
Such as Haribo
or Haribo or something? I don't know.
Haribo Gumai?
Gummy bears.
Yeah. Doritos and cereal with 2% milk.
All right.
However, it is reported that Marilyn once requested a bald-headed, toothless hooker with no mention of a preferred gender.
All righty then.
So was that chick from Chicago that played at his party?
I think it was the one that called us from the trailer park with the dogs.
I thought it was the one who said, "Get down, Goblin."
It could be.
That's why she played his private party.
Could be.
Get down, Goblin.
Get down, Goblin.
What was her name? Terry something?
I don't remember. Terry. I keep thinking Terry Jackson. I know that. Terry something.
Yeah, Terry something. She was so memorable.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're up to the Prince of Darkness.
Oh, boy.
Ozzy Osbourne.
Sure, this will be great.
See how crazy this
Jan Terry.
Jan Terry, there we go.
There she is.
Toothless hooker. Nice. All right, Ozzy Osbourne. How crazy can this guy be?
It's got to be.
He's out of control.
Yep.
No, people, he didn't ask for a bat or a dove to bite the head off of. How old is this?
Fucking 84?
I know, seriously. Come on. Really?
Come on, man.
Or a life-size model of the Alamo to piss on. All right.
Graham Gruhamed Hartman, you are a douchebag. Your fucking writing is so bad.
Right.
Really shouldn't be. I can't believe that Loudwire, who I have friends with that run this fucking site, I cannot believe that Pete Sheeky would let you keep fucking writing.
Right.
You are a fucking idiot.
When Black Sabbath were touring with Pantera and the Deftones in 1999, Ozzy Osbourne had various requests to preserve his health on the road.
Okay.
The Prince of Darkness requested 3 oxygen tanks to be available at load-in, along with a real ear, nose, and throat doctor for when Ozzy arrived at the venue.
What is wrong with that?
Okay. This guy's a vocalist.
He's a vocalist that had perennial problems with his voice.
And he's old.
And he's old, and he wanted to do everything he could to perform a good show.
Right.
Okay.
Ozzy also requested that the doctor possess the expertise to administrate a B12 shot for energy with a Decadron kicker for anti-inflammatory reasons. Okay, so Ozzy's got arthritis, and he wants a little B12 shot, which gives you a little boost of energy.
Yeah.
So what?
What is wrong with that?
So what? I know people who actually administer B12 shots to themselves.
Yeah, I don't see any problem with this at all.
There's nothing wacky about that.
Yeah, the guy wants to ensure he plays a good show.
Yeah.
Look, and Lord knows I love to kick Ozzy around because he's just become an embarrassment.
Sure.
But that really said, that's about the most professional one we've read.
Right, I want oxygen. I want to be able to sing. I want to be able to perform. I don't want any problems. I want to give the crowd that paid to come see me a good show.
Yeah.
So I want to ensure that's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm going to take all the steps necessary to provide a good show. Not fucking, yeah, I need a treadmill that's pink with a fucking purple tread. You know, I mean, he wants fucking, if there's a problem, which obviously Ozzy has had a lot of over the years. How many gigs has Ozzy missed because of his fucking bad voice?
Right.
You know, good for him.
Sure.
Fuck this dumb writer.
Yeah.
Dick.
All right, well, we're up to the hot red chili peppers.
Red Hotters. All right, can't wait.
The men of the Red Hot Chili Peppers are well known for their spiritual side. I wasn't aware of that. Were you aware of that?
I think they're like Zenists or something.
I didn't know anything about it.
And
in 2000, the band made various requests for the goal of maintaining their spiritual balance.
All right.
The band requested aromatherapy candles, fresh ginger root, fresh papaya juice, and 24 1-liter bottles of still glacier water from either Hawaii or Australia.
Yeah, I'd be rejecting this immediately.
Okay. Here's the kicker. The band also requested one small carpeted room strictly for meditation.
I guess so.
The meditation room also had to have its walls painted in a medium to dark color, but not blue. Blue just will not do.
Yeah, eat a bag of dicks. Here's the fucking backstage area, dicks. We're not painting it for your fucking hour that you're going to be here.
Sure.
Fuck off.
Exactly. Iggy Pop and the Three Stooges.
All right.
Iggy Pop and the legendary Stooges are one of the punk rock's most respected and dangerous bands.
Oh yeah, very dangerous.
They're dangerous. I always like that. Didn't they call Guns N' Roses the most dangerous band?
Yeah. Everybody's the most dangerous in the Sex Pistols.
Why what makes them dangerous?
Who knows?
What are they doing?
They're saying fuck you to a
man. God. I'm going to have to bleep that now. Because that was a dangerous word.
Was that a dangerous statement?
It was. The inherent bizarre humor of the band carries itself over to their tour rider. Get ready for a good laugh here.
Okay, here we go.
As the band once asked for something with testicles in it. A Bob Hope impersonator.
Hilarious.
And 7 little people to dress as the dwarves from Snow White.
What a scream.
The band also laced their rider with random bit of hilarity.
Oh, here we come.
Such as, if I had to choose between McDonald's with a Coke and having my tongue ripped out and placed inside my colon, I'd probably be licking my own arse right now.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
Hilarity.
They are fucking hilarious.
Let the hilarity ensue.
Oh, I think it's already ensuing.
Right.
Lines like that.
Sure. Now, are you a fan of the band Shinedown?
No, let's skip them.
Skip Shinedown?
Yeah.
Fuck
Who
them
cares?
guys.
Fuck Shinedown. Fuck Gorgoroth.
Not into them either.
Couldn't care less.
Okay. How about Motley Crue?
Motley Crue will work.
Motley Crue is relevant because Tim James likes them.
That's right.
When it comes to hard partying heavy metal bands, the guys from Motley Crue may be the most infamous.
Yeah.
Do you think that's true?
For partying? Probably.
Okay.
Don't you think?
I was thinking Guns N' Roses at some point.
Motley did it for a long time.
Sure they did, and they're still the original lineup.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I think Motley's
okay.
probably...
I'll give the crown to Motley because they are still the original lineup, and they are still pretty party band, I guess. You know.
I mean, I don't know that they party now, but I mean, they are infamous for their crazy ways.
Sure they are. However, when the band decided to clean up their act, when was that?
90 or 89 for Dr. Feelgood.
Okay. Motley Crue requested that the venue look up local Alcoholic Anonymous meetings for the band to attend. Do you think that happened?
I know for a fact it did, actually.
Really? Okay,
Yes, sir.
so that's news to me.
Yep, because I was in California, and I had a friend that actually sat in on a meeting in San Francisco with Tommy and Nikki.
How about that? On the more humorous side of things, Motley Crue also requested a jar of creamy peanut butter.
Okay.
Okay, I don't find that bizarre.
Or humorous.
A submachine gun.
Right. That's hilarious.
A 12-foot boa constrictor.
Okay. Haha.
And a jar of Grey Poupon mustard. I don't find that really... I've actually seen that on a rider table.
It's pretty hilarious.
Who says you need alcohol to have a good time?
This writer sucks the biggest dick ever.
I've seen peanut butter, actually, and I've seen Grey Poupon. I don't really see anything humorous about that.
Mm-hmm. Graham Hartman must wish his throat was filled with fucking Lexington Steele's cock.
Sure.
He fucking sucks huge amounts of dick.
Right.
He is a fucking terrible writer.
Right.
God.
Well, we did mention Guns N' Roses.
Yep.
And they're next up on the list.
All right.
Guns N' Roses were the bad boys of rock.
Mm-hmm.
What are they now?
A whole nother band.
Okay. And what do all the bad boys need?
Yeah.
Porn, of course. In one of the band's old tour riders, they requested an assortment of adult magazines.
Wow.
Citing Penthouse and Playboy as examples.
Wow, all the really filthy ones.
I wonder why Hustler was not mentioned in there. Wasn't Larry Flint the provocateur of Rip magazine?
I thought so.
And didn't Axl Rose and the boys hang out with Athena Flint?
I think so, yeah.
So why didn't they ask for a Hustler?
Because they should have gone for the real
They
magazines.
were biting the hand that fed them.
Yeah. Don't you think they should have gone for the real magazines? Barely Legal and Swank.
That would have been really bad boy stuff there.
And Wee Magazine. Remember Wee Magazine?
Yeah.
Those fucking really, really dirty ones.
I'm sure.
The ones with the fucking 100 zoom close-up of fucking finger and pussy. Those are the good ones.
Can't argue with that. The result was a humorous nod from former member Brian Mentia.
You remember him, right?
No.
He was Brain.
Is that who that is?
Maybe, I don't know. Who fucking knows? I think that's one of the drummers.
Okay, one of the drummers.
That's the guy that our buddy replaced, isn't it? Our
Yeah.
buddy Frank Farrar?
I don't know, dude. I the name doesn't even register with me.
Well, dude, how many people have been through that version of Guns N' Roses?
Who knows? Meanwhile, back at the tour castle, yeah. Meanwhile, the tour rider also showed a love for Italian from singer Axl Rose, who requested orders of angel hair pasta primavera,
Yeah.
and fettuccine alfredo, along with fresh large pepperoni pizza among the food items that would be acceptable.
Okay. A, I have no problem with that. And B, why do I think that Axl got the Alfredo stuff or the pasta stuff and that the band got the pizza?
Right. but regardless, why is that even bizarre?
There's nothing bizarre there.
They prefer to have pasta, so what?
Yeah, exactly. Right, these next few are not really anything.
That's Peter Gabriel? Holy shit.
Looks like fucking Billy Joel.
Something like that.
All the rest of these are like old bands.
Yeah, I didn't even recognize.
Paul McCartney. Sammy Hagar is like 5 up.
All right. Well, we'll do one or two more.
All right.
Did the Rolling Stones do anything crazy?
Probably not.
Okay.
I skipped all the way up to Sammy Hagar.
How about the Beach Boys?
Come on.
Okay. All right, let's go to Sammy Hagar, the Red Rocker.
All right.
The Red Rocker. How dated is that? 1984, the Red Rocker.
That was what, 1982?
Yeah, something like that.
He stopped being the Red Rocker when he joined Van Halen.
Sure.
That was what, 86, 85, something like.
Right, 86. 86.
I was going to say.
We know that Sammy Hagar loves his tequila. You know that?
Well.
But there may be times when he wants something else to drink.
All right.
What? Sammy doesn't just drink straight tequila all the time?
Guess not.
I would have thought he would have.
Guess not.
With apologies to Billy Joel, who you just mentioned, he does like a bottle or red, a bottle or white.
Okay.
Bad joke.
This guy sucks. Oh, this is a different writer.
That's right. Sammy wants some wine to drink tonight.
Oh, God.
So Sammy just doesn't drink tequila.
Why is this bizarre?
I don't know. The red and apparently white rocker.
Ugh. God.
Requests a bottle of French or California Pinot Noir.
Okay.
An Italian Barolo.
Okay.
California Merlot.
Yeah.
Or Cabernet Sauvignon.
All right.
For red wine, white wines could be Californian, European Pinot Blanc, California or European Sauvignon Blanc, or Chardonnay.
Okay, how many other kinds of wine are there?
However,
so basically he wants a fucking bottle of wine.
However,
Yeah.
on stage, it's a little less high class.
Yeah.
With 16 Mexican beers, 2 quarts of Gatorade, 16 bottles of non-carbonated spring water.
Wow, that's crazy.
Non-carbonated spring
Yeah,
water.
because he doesn't want to be burping into the fucking microphone.
Coke, the kind you drink.
Yeah, maybe.
7-Up, and Dr. Pepper is required.
Right. All right, I think we're done here. I can't take any more of this fucking horrendous writing. I'm about to punch Wardlaw just for working with this fucking publication.
Nice.
I can't take it. This writer's this is a different writer, and he's equally bad.
Sure.
He's as bad as the other guy.
Everybody goes with all the cliches.
Yeah, everything's a cliche bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, God.
Took it all out of you, huh?
I'm literally getting mad. I'm sitting here getting mad because, first of all, none of this shit's fucking bizarre. And second of all, the writing is so bad that's what's bizarre.
Sure.
That these guys get paid. And believe it or not, these guys get paid for this shit.
Right.
I know for a fact Ultimate Classic Rock pays. And they're paying fucking, what's this guy's name? Chad Childers. Chad, you suck. Fucking dummy. The red and sometimes white rocker. Shut up, dick.
I went to the next one for Rush.
Yeah.
There's nothing bizarre on there. They just want different dark beers or rum or vodkas.
Yeah, the whole thing is stupid.
It's like, so what?
I'm surprised this dumbass Chad missed out on the fucking best of both worlds. He likes red and white because he apparently likes the best of both worlds in wine.
Right.
You know, I could write dumb cliches too, you fucking twat. Jesus. What do they got for Rush here? Let's see what Rush has.
It's just different alcohols.
No, I'm just looking more for the bad fucking
the cliche?
Is there a bad cliche here?
I didn't really see it.
What does Tom Sawyer like that Geddy Lee does as well? Jesus. They have subdivisions of the wines they drink. Shut the fuck up. They'll only drink something with a vintage of 2112.
Right. They apparently have a different alcohol for each day of the week.
Oh, wow.
Monday is Myers Dark Rum. Tuesday is Chavez Regal.
Okay.
Wednesday is Martel Cordon Bleu.
Right.
Cognac. Thursday is Tanqueray Gin.
Right.
And 12 cans of tonic water. Friday is Glenlivet Single Malt Scotch. And Saturday is Stolichnaya Vodka. And Sunday is Courvoisier.
Great.
So, what day do you want to hang out with Rush?
No days, because Rush stinks. Just like their choices in alcohol, they stink.
Right.
There. How's that, Chad? Like that?
So there you are.
Chad sucks. That's what I got to say. Chad Childers sucks a dick.
You suck, you jackass.
What a fucking non-talent. And I could say that as a writer. Now I'm like all writer critical. I get pissed off at writers that are bad getting paid. Because first of all, this guy's getting paid for writing a fucking. What do you think each one of these is? 100 words?
Well, I guess,
75 to 100 words, and he probably makes $30 to $50.
Sure.
So he can fucking sit there and say, yeah, I read on Wikipedia these guys drink fucking rum. Fuck off, Chad. I'm done with this whole thing.
Now you're all mad and stuff.
I'm all fucking pissed off because this writer is such a douche.
You're all just all mad and stuff.
I really am.
All right. I like how some of our fun segments just turn into making you crazy and mad.
It makes me crazy when these guys lack talent. Like, that's what it is. I mean, Ultimate Classic Rock is a big site.
Sure.
And Loudwire is a big site. And they brought these guys in? For what? A good chuckle? I mean, is anybody laughing at any of this shit?
None of it's funny.
Not a single
And
one.
I don't find any of it all really that bizarre.
Forget the bizarre part. I'm talking about it's apparent that they're trying to write pop culture jokes.
I understand, but the whole thing was bizarre tour rider requests.
Well, yeah, I mean that part of it is terrible. But I'm talking about the writing itself is bad.
Yeah, but where's the bizarreness in most of it?
It's bizarre that this guy gets a check for writing this shit.
Well, again, I for most of what we read,
yeah,
it wasn't that bizarre.
Not at all.
So what? Guns N' Roses likes pasta. So what?
Yeah.
Instead of pizza, we want angel hair pasta and marinara sauce. So what?
Yeah, that's
my God, that's out of control.
These guys are fucking wacky.
Jeez, I hope there's a Fazoli's nearby. God, really?
These guys are out of control.
Yeah. They won't accept Domino's. They want Fazoli's.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys are crazy.
Wow. Radical.
You sons of bitches. God damn it.
Yeah, you fucks.
SpaghettiOs just won't do.
Yeah, not for the band that wrote the Spaghetti Incident. See what I did there? Aren't I hilarious? Aren't I a fucking scream?
You should have got paid for that.
I really should have. You know, and anytime they get milk, they want it fresh from down on the farm. See that? I got another one in there.
Right.
And they don't want yesterday's food. They want today's. See, another one. I could write them all fucking day.
Sure.
You know, Jesus Christ. And the waitress better be named My Michelle.
Right.
Fucking idiots.
Yeah.
What city do they usually get their order from? Obviously Paradise City.
Right. When playing Paradise City, they have My Michelle serve up their Spaghetti Incident.
Right. And when Axl's on tour, he doesn't only eat for himself, but that sweet child of his. All right, see what I did there? I just tweaked it a little bit.
Right.
Fucking awful.
I know.
God damn, man.
All right, dude. Well, it's been a good show.
A long show.
Yeah, it's been fun, though.
I think we have 6 hours of talking.
Sure. All right. Well, we want to thank our guest tonight, Mike Orlando of Adrenaline Mob. They have a brand new CD out there called Men of Honor.
That's right.
And Andy Darris, along with his The Bad Bankers.
Yeah.
The Bad Bankers.
Yeah. And I don't remember what that album's called. Something about 10-cent haircuts or something like that.
It's $1 million haircuts.
On 10-cent heads or something.
Right.
Some crazy title, but it's a good album.
Oh, it's out of control. I bet his writer is crazy too.
Oh, I'll bet you everything with Andy Darris is fucking pumpkins.
I bet you gotta, if you could, maybe next week, maybe you could get a hold of Andy Darris's writer. I bet you it's really crazy.
I'll bet you everything has to be served in a carved pumpkin.
Right.
And it all has to look like the Halloween pumpkin.
I'll bet you on this tour that he requires 6 barber chairs in the dressing room for the band.
Right. And each guy gets paid $1 million just for his haircut.
Right.
That's right.
Actually, each haircut has to be performed by a former member of Haircut 100.
That's right. Ron Popeil better be there.
Okay, that's a really dated joke.
Why not? I got all these fucking jokes from 1982 that we've been reading.
Right.
The Red Rocker. The Red and White Rocker. Oh, my God. Really? Fucking doing Motley Crue jokes from 1989?
Well, I pulled out a Haircut 100 joke.
And I went with Ron Popeil. I'm right there with you. Next thing you know, we're going to be talking about the guy with the little tiny ads. You just place little tiny ads in the newspaper and you become a billionaire.
Sure.
What was that guy's name? Don Lepre.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy killed himself. Did you know that?
Yeah. No, I didn't.
Yeah, he killed himself.
Sure.
He went broke, fucking killed himself.
Right. Nothing left to live for.
What if his obituary was in tiny little ads all across the country?
Sure. That's a fitting way to end your legacy.
That would be great if every paper in the country did his obituary in like a fucking 10-word fucking in the classifieds.
Right.
Don Lepre dead, gunshot.
And then it follows right after with who?
Exactly.
Nice.
All right,
dude. Let's get out of here.
We ended with a flurry.
It was fun.
Yeah, let's go. It's time.
All right. Well, we didn't get to the whole Jeff Tate sings 70s classics, but we'll do that next week. And we got a talking metal next week by suggestion of a fan. And, we got stuff lined up for next week already. So it's been a fun show. I want to thank everybody who's tuned in. Check out the Spreaker, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Because we're doing some mad numbers over there.
Yeah, we're closing in on 250,000 on Spreaker.
Yeah, no shit. I love it.
That's great.
All right, dude. Well, I'm going to get out of here. What would you like to part the evening with?
I'm thinking we're going to go with the Red Rocker. From,
the red, sometimes white.
Yeah, sometimes white, sometimes red. But since we're in that mode, we're going to go with Bad Motor Scooter.
Oh, okay. Some the guy who also shot himself.
Who? Shot himself?
Montrose. Ronnie Montrose.
Did he shoot himself?
Yeah, he killed himself.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
I thought he died of old age last year.
No, he committed suicide.
Ronnie Montrose?
Yes.
Wait a minute.
That was the whole conspiracy. Remember we had that guy from that band? Remember he said that he had proof that there was some kind of conspiracy?
But that was him.
But no, Ronnie Montrose killed himself. He just
he died of cancer.
No, he had cancer and then he beat the cancer and then he killed himself.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Not seeing that he killed himself anywhere on his Wikipedia page, but I don't see how he died, actually. Oh, here we go. Oh, no, you're right. Ronnie Montrose committed suicide. Reported that the guitarist died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Montrose did not leave a suicide note.
It was a conspiracy, according to that. What was the hell the name of that band? That guy said he was
Max 12.
Max 12. That was it.
That's right.
He said Ronnie Montrose's death was a conspiracy because everybody was gunning for him.
My blood's like candy, baby.
Right.
Cold, sweet, and sticky.
Right. Jeez. I told you Ronnie killed himself. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why didn't you go out like a real man and light up a couple barbecue girls in the bathroom?
That's right, man. What's wrong?
Yeah, you died like a fag.
Puss.
Anybody could put a gun to their head. It takes a little effort to bring barbecue grills inside the house and get them lit.
Right. That's a thinking man's death there.
Yeah.
That's right. I mean, big deal. You shot yourself. Everybody's done that. There's only one story known to man of fucking barbecue death.
I barbecued myself to death.
Beat that, bitch.
Whoever thought that death wasn't funny?
I love death. Death is hilarious.
Oh, God.
Fucking, dude. I was listening to that Mike, and I know we're never going to end, but I was listening to that Mikey show, and the fucking funniest line in the whole thing, and I don't remember if it was you or me that said it, but I think it was you, actually, said something like, these burgers are warmer than the body.
Right?
Fuck is wrong with us?
I will never get over the whole Brad Delp thing.
Brad Delp is the greatest.
Never in my life will I ever get over the Brad Delp thing.
That is the greatest suicide ever.
Firing up 2 hibachis in a closed-off bathroom.
Right. It's the greatest death. It's the greatest suicide of all time.
It is. It's very rock and roll.
You know what? I would never encourage anybody to commit suicide, but if you're going to do it, Brad Delp is the bar.
He's the benchmark.
He is the benchmark. Yeah. You got to outdo that somehow.
Shoot yourself, been done before. Taking pills, been done before.
Drowning, all that's been done.
Drank yourself to death, alcohol poisoning, been done before.
Even asphyxiated in the garage, been done before.
Yeah.
This guy did it in his bathroom with a grill.
2 grills.
That is raising the bar awfully high.
Yeah, to think about it. He had to go out in the garage, bring the grills into the house,
I wonder if the bathroom was downstairs or upstairs. Did he have to drag him upstairs?
I don't know. Put the charcoal in, put the lighter fluid on, get them fired up, getting them ready, close the bathroom door, tape off the door so you get a good seal in there.
Right.
Get a pillow, lay down on the floor, tape a note to your chest, and then just go to sleep.
Is he crying this whole time, you think?
I don't know.
I mean, honestly, do you think that he's crying?
Granted, that death was completely fucked up. but that was like the crowning achievement of your life.
You know, and it's funny because the guy had so many good songs.
And there was nothing wrong with him. He wasn't dying. He wasn't terminally ill.
He wasn't even broke.
He was just lonely.
Yeah, he was just... But he really wasn't. I mean, he wasn't broke or anything. Was he?
No, not that I'm aware of. We were supposed to go out on a major tour that year.
Yeah,
he was like in rehearsals to launch the summer tour.
Right.
I'm so lonely I could die. And I did. Success.
Right.
Success.
I did it. Delp committed suicide on March 9th, 2007 at age 55. He was found dead in his home on Academy Avenue in Atkinson, New Hampshire, from the smoke of 2 charcoal grills he lit inside his sealed master bathroom. I gotta think he had to drag these suckers upstairs. I have this image of this fucking Brad Delp with his hair all mussed up and his fucking graying goatee, fucking dragging these things, and they're thumping up a carpet step up into a bathroom.
And he's like, no, I'm going to light these things and kill myself. You know that, right?
Yeah. I wonder if like there was charcoal that like fell out of these things and like fell on the floor, and if he went and picked them up.
No, they had the Kingsford edge. It was all right.
Oh, okay. You know, was there dust from the Kingsford bag that got on the floor?
Right.
Delp was found by police and Delp's fiance together, lying on a pillow on the bathroom floor.
See, it was everything I described to you.
Delp left 4 private notes to his family members in an office, plus a public suicide note paper-clipped to the neck of his T-shirt.
See?
which read, Mr. Brad Delp, Je un homme solitaire. I am a lonely soul.
See? That's just, I don't care. That's funny to me.
It's funny to me.
It's tragic and it's sad, but it's still funny.
There's nothing sad about it. It's fucking as rock and roll as it's ever been. I'll go on a limb. Most rock and roll death ever.
I agree.
Ever. Nobody beats this. Bon Scott, no. Hendrix, no. Janis Joplin, no. Mama Cass, no. Who else? Kurt Cobain, no.
Jim Morrison?
No way. Nobody beats grilling themselves to death. Nobody beats that. I'm going to say this is the coolest suicide in the history of suicide. What could be cooler than this?
Yeah, I think the thing that makes it stand out is because it actually took a lot of work.
It was not just it wasn't an accident. This is a real plan. And I don't think it was the morning of plan either. I think this is a week in planning. 5 suicide notes taped off his bathroom, drag grills upstairs. This motherfucker had a plan, man.
I'm going out of here.
I'm going out the right way with
sure.
the Kingsford edge.
And the running theme for the show tonight, he was engaged to be married that year. Drove him to kill himself.
Well, that part makes a lot of sense, really.
Right.
Let's see here. Events came to light as part of Scholl's claim that the Boston Herald defamed him by suggesting he was to blame for his bandmate's death. Oh, boy. Think Tom Scholes was part of it?
No.
No? Just that, maybe. I mean, the guy was notoriously slow at putting out albums. Maybe he got bored to death.
Right.
Decided I can't wait any fucking longer.
Sure.
I can't write a jingle for the Kingsford Edge, so I'm going to just use it. And out. On March 19th, 2007, Barry Goudreau released one final song with Delp on vocals titled Rockin' Away. Recorded in the summer of 2006 and co-written by Barry Goudreau, it is an autobiography of Delp's music career. The song was a minor hit in early 2008, blah, blah, blah. Tribute concert, posthumous CD, blah, blah, blah. Another posthumous release. All right, no, nothing else. Nothing else. Oh, there's a Brad Delp Foundation, though.
Is it built out of charcoal briquettes?
They signed all their contracts in charcoal. In order to promote life, you get a free tank of oxygen. There's a strict no grilling policy. You're not allowed in the meat section all summer long. Oh, shit. God damn.
How did we go from the Red Rocker to Brad Delp killing himself?
How do we ever get anywhere? It just fucking happened.
Oh, we went from Ronnie Montrose committing suicide. That's why.
To Delp.
So basically, we just made the parallel that Ronnie Montrose was a pussy for shooting himself.
Right. He didn't know what to. What? I'm still stuck on what could beat this.
Nothing.
What could beat barbecue to death? I'm sitting here trying to think of what could you do that would be more rock and roll than that. Thank you for the albums, Brad, and the murder.
Right.
Because you've entertained me in a lot of ways.
Sure.
Wow.
And what other radio show has covered this as extensively?
Somehow I think we're the only ones that are still talking about it 7 years later.
And you know, people, after they hear this show tonight, they're going to go to work and said, "Holy shit, did you know Brad Delp died?"
And you know what the irony of all this is? This is actually the anniversary right now.
I think that's why it's so fresh in our minds.
Today, March 9th, 2007.
There you go. I don't know. It must have been channeling into us or something.
I guess. Oh boy.
Oh, God, that's hysterical.
Oh man, so good.
All right, sorry, Brad, but you went out in a big way.
Sorry, my ass. Thank you, Brad. Thank you so much, man.
Wow.
Every time I look at my fucking tongs when I'm flipping a burger this summer, I will think of you again.
I said Brad would have appreciated this.
Be honest and be dead honest, not even joking around. Anytime you barbecue, his name goes through.
Oh, absolutely, dude. I think about it all the time.
Every time I barbecue.
First time I heard the news, that just left an indelible print in my head that from here on out, barbecues will never be the same.
Dude, I kid you not, and this is not even a joke. Most of the time when I'm barbecuing, I have my iPod on, and almost religiously I go to Boston. Almost every time I barbecue, I'm listening to fucking Been a Long Time.
Sure.
Since I breathed and cooked.
Right. Please come to Boston in the springtime.
Oh, that's fucking not.
I know, but I was just relating.
That's Dave Loggins.
I know.
On. Long time and satisfying.
Right.
All right, let's go.
All right. Well, we're going to leave you with some pussed out Montrose with Bad Motor Scooter featuring.
No, screw that. Screw that. After all this, scratch that. Let's end peacefully with some Boston.
Okay.
Let's go out with Amanda.
Really?
No, Cool the Engines.
That's better.
Cool the Kingsford.
Right. Cool the engines.
Cool the engines.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is an odd request. I don't think I've ever actually played Boston as a song on the Classic Metal Show in the whole history of the show.
Come on, as much as we've talked about this death tonight.
No, we never just played a Boston song. We've actually, dabbled with the latest Boston release.
Yeah.
But actually playing a song, I don't think I've ever done that on the show.
Well, let's do it.
So, all right. Well, we're going to get out of here. We're going to leave you with some Boston as a tribute, since we were talking tributes earlier.
Sure.
To Brad Delp, who hibachied himself to death. All right, Brad, this one's for you, pal.
Right.
So until next Saturday night, this is Neeley along with my very good friend
Chris Aiken.
And we'll see you.
Bye, kids. Hey, it's Chris Aiken from the Classic Metal Show. Most people know me as the foul-mouthed shock jock from the Classic Metal Show, or the no-nonsense heavy metal critic from pitriff.com. Now you get to learn the other side. My first book, Little Victories, A Tale of Divorce, Debauchery, and Finding Happiness, comes out on January 13th in paperback and digital formats on Amazon and iTunes. It details my real-world emotional struggles over a year that included a divorce after a quarter century of marriage and the death of my father. It profiles things I did right, as well as a bevy of things that I did wrong with the help of alcohol, and how I found my way out of the muck of the emotional state that almost saw me commit suicide. Pre-order your copy of Little Victories, A Tale of Divorce, Debauchery, and Finding Happiness today at www.chrisaikenbooks.com and get in touch with the more fallible side of me, Chris Aiken. Sounds happy, huh?